My first concert was New Kids on the Block.
Me too.
Yeah. And it was like, well, it was New Kids and it was also Tiffany and Boyz II Men all in one in New York. And I was like 10. And the next time I went to a concert, sadly, it was like when I got divorced. I started going to concerts.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. So I was like 36 or something. So then I started going, and it was most of it was like a lot of dates, and they were getting me all like really close seats and nice seats. And I'm like, ooh, I've like missed out my whole life. But you know what? Now when I'm buying for myself too, I want to experience it in a nicer way. Welcome to A Holistic Dose. We've been through the plot twist, divorce, parenting, burnout, reinvention, and now we're doing midlife with way more honesty and way less BS. Think of us as your unfiltered friends, here to remind you that you're not too late, too old, or too far behind. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jeanette.
And today we're going to be talking about some of the things that we're deciding that we're letting go of now that we're in our 40s. And we have a little list. We are going to be doing some shorter episodes, and this is one of them. So, Jeanette, do you want to kick us off?
Okay, I will kick us off. My first one is not pooping in public bathrooms.
Oh my God. You know, there is such a conversation about that where people talk about like the home goods experience. That
I have not heard of this.
You haven't heard of that?
No.
Oh my God. People talk about it all the time. They're like, what is it with like a Home Goods or a Target that every time they go there, they're like, they have to go.
That's funny. But yeah, when I was younger, I remember in high school, it was like, do anything to not take a dump at school. And if it was an emergency, you go in the middle of class and get the hall pass. Like you don't go and there's a class changes. And then, yeah, I even remember in my 20s, I did an internship with a lot of like Georgia, the Georgia legislature. And there was a very small bathroom. And I went into this bathroom and one of the female legislators, representatives was in there and she crapped. And I was shocked. I was probably 25 and I was just like, she knew somebody's in here and she pooped.
Like, how dare she? Oh my God.
And now I'm like, you know what? If I've got to go, I've got to go. And I am just not going to hold it.
This is so not where I thought this whole conversation was going to start out with. I had no idea what I was in for. I'm all thinking about like, man, when I was
Deeper
39.
things.
Yeah. I get a little too deep sometimes and you bring me back
It
down.
also does tie into, because that's the first thing that popped into my mind. But then I started thinking about some others and I realized that like another one that I thought of is covering too much of my body, which doesn't seem like such a big deal right now because I'm thin. But when I turned 40, I weighed 250 pounds and I started wearing bikinis because I was like, I want to be comfortable, and it's easier to go to the bathroom if you're in a two-piece. And so
Then
really
pulling down that bathing suit when you're soking wet.
Yes, I hate that one piece and peeling it off. And then you're like cold on top because you have nothing on. And yeah, like the two-piece is just so much more comfortable. And I was like, look, I'm dressing for my comfort, not other people's. But I do think it falls under the bigger umbrella of not caring too much what other people think. Right. And so
there's a big movement about that whole thing with the we do not care. Now, I will say that like I loved that whole concept and got on board fully. I think that what I worry or fear about is I don't want people to have that as an excuse to like not understand that there's treatments out there to help make perimenopause better and you don't have to be miserable and upset. But yeah, definitely like not caring as much as what other people thinks. That is a real thing when you get into your 40s.
Exactly. And really caring more about what you think, right? It's not caring. It's, I care about my comfort. So I'm wearing a two-piece bathing suit. I'm not caring about what other people think about me wearing that two-piece bathing suit. And the same with the pooping in a public bathroom. Like, I don't want to make myself miserable.
Exactly.
If I'm, if there's a bathroom there, I'm going to go.
You're going to go. Right. I think so. I remember feeling as though, what are all these things that I feel like I need to have accomplished by the time I hit 40. And I felt such an anxiety and panic attack. Like it was about 6 months before. Did you feel this at all? I don't even remember talking to people about it. I was internalizing it a lot. I was like, am I at the place in my career where I felt like I should be? Or what is that? Like, I think we get stuck in the the shoulds of everything, right? And then I also felt like, okay, I've been divorced for this many years. I thought I would have been remarried by now. I got divorced 10 years ago now. And should I be in a house versus a condo? Should I, be going on more trips? And like, I think all these things. And now I'm just like, I'm embracing my 40s and I'm loving it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. When we're in our 20s and even I think early 30s, it's like we have such a picture in our mind of this is what life is supposed to look like. And I do think embracing kind of the messiness and,
the messy middle.
Yeah. And life is more exciting when you don't know exactly what's happening and exactly what it's going to look like, and looking at it as, it's an adventure, and let's embrace new experiences and the unexpected. And that's a good thing.
And to know truly, like we do say in our little tagline there opening, you really are not too old enough. It is not too late to totally reinvent yourself, make something that you want of your own. We're figuring this out along the way here. And I tell people, go after it all the time. You just really don't know. Otherwise you're going to go through life and realize, well, what if? And that to me sucks more.
Yeah. And that kind of ties into my next one, things that I'm letting go, is putting off things for one day. And it also kind of ties into the travel.
Like, what do you mean, like putting them off for one day?
So travel.
Like one day I'll do this.
Like one day I will go somewhere like Peru. And we had just talked about my Peru trip. And I'm trying to think, I hadn't turned 40 yet. I was my late 30s. But I was like, I know I can't really afford it, but I'm tired of putting this off for one day, and I'm booking it. And I just booked it far enough in advance that I was able to plan for it and do it. And I'm so glad. And a big thing on my bucket list is an Italy trip. I want to do Tuscany and like rent a car, drive around to different little Tuscan farms, and take a class on making pasta and all that. And that's my 50th birthday. It doesn't really matter like what my financial situation is or what's going on. Like, yes, like if Jeff doesn't want to come, I will bring a girlfriend. I'll go by myself. Like, I'll bring Logan. Like, I'm not putting it off, right? So 50, I'm doing this. And so I do think that just things that you want to experience in life, don't put it off for one day. Even if it's, 50 is 4 years for me, but it's still 50, this is what I'm doing. It's not one day I'm going to do this. There's a plan. Right. Same with the facelift. I'm going to do it, and my plan is 50.
Yeah, my forehead lift and my upper bluff is like in 2 months, but yeah, I agree. I think I haven't done the solo travel thing, but I think that is another way to just embrace and go. And then there's so many like Facebook groups for solo travelers, and I've been considering even doing that too if you can't find somebody to go with you. Yeah. It falls along the same lines as just going out to like dine by yourself. Like, I've never done that before, but I'm going to start doing it because like, who cares and whatever. And it doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to go and enjoy. And then I love meeting new people, and maybe that's where I'll meet my next Mr. Somebody, who knows? Yeah. But you can meet a lot of really cool, interesting people just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I enjoy going to the movies by myself. I enjoy going out to eat by myself. Just be able to there's something indulgent in doing exactly what you want to do. I don't have to agree with anybody on the movie or what we're eating, what time. Like, I just am doing what I want.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Because you know what? Like, I feel we're also worried about what other people are thinking. And when I went to go see Jay Shetty talk, and he was like, nobody really is.
No one cares.
Giving a shit. We're all so worried about ourselves. We are literally we're too scared to stand up and speak in public. We're too scared for what people are going to say about us. And meanwhile, we're not even thinking about like, what are the people up there feeling where they're going through that? Nobody cares. I think like if someone does something silly or stupid, we might in the moment be like, okay, that was stupid.
And then you forget. Yeah.
But it's not gonna, so why let it hold us back? So what are some of the other things on your list? I'm curious.
So I also have perfectionism. Something big I've had to learn, especially in having my own business, is that done is better than perfect. And, if
Make the to-dos a to-done. I had a coach before who taught me that. Yeah. And I'm constantly working on that.
Yeah, I definitely see the perfectionism with you. And then, for me, like the newsletter for my business is hard to get out. And it's like, I have to just like make it good enough and then get it
Yes.
out. And
Yes.
so much of what I do is just like getting it done. And of course, you don't want to do anything sloppy, right? Like you want to make a good product, but perfectionism is kind of sabotaging ourselves because then we end up getting less done and it kind of stalls us.
I am a recovering perfectionist.
Yeah.
I think I'm still in recovery. I definitely am. It's every day. I'm trying to get better. And I'm working on it. I'm working on a lot of things. And it's part of this list too. It's part of also realizing that you can say no. Like in your 40s, you have confidence to be like, you know what? That doesn't serve me. And then also that spans across relationships too.
Yeah, and that's my next one is relationship drama, whether it's friends, whether it's, a partner, or even friends who have so much drama of their own. Drama exhausts me now. And a lot of my job is dealing with people's drama, but I'm able to compartmentalize that where it's like, okay, I turn off the brain when it comes to other people's drama at, 5 p.m. or whatever. But just constant drama just sucks away my energy. And I have to just have that boundary of like, especially people who always have drama. Some people, there's always going to be people going through things in your life, right?
At some point, it's like there's a cycle. And it's kind of like what we talked about with Greta before with the catastrophizing and everything.
Yeah.
And just being able to see the patterns and realize like, this is not good for me. Like I'm an empath and a lot of people don't understand that. I don't fully understand it myself, but I absorb other people's energy. So I'm being super intuitive too. So when people are going through that, like it sucks the life out of me. And then I start getting down and feeling sad and I'm trying to sort out like, what's their emotions? What are my emotions? And it really used to drain me. And I had to just like start cutting those things off or like not let myself get emotionally attached. I've learned to train my brain to just not get involved.
Yeah.
And then you just got to sometimes tell people, you know what? Like, hey, the more you feed into those people's stories and things that they have going on, the more they're going to keep dumping. It's like you keep feeding the bears, they're going to keep coming back.
Having boundaries is something that took me a long time to learn. And I'm a people pleaser. Like I've always been like, give. I want to make people happy. And that caused a lot of issues really in my 20s, probably early 30s. And it was like mid 30s. And I started working on that in therapy. Like my therapist, one of the first things she did was tell me to read the book called Boundaries, which I think is like a 20-year-old book. It's not a new book, but it's, this is an issue that a lot of people struggle with.
Sure. Yeah, it is really like super common. Yeah, it's so important to have those boundaries because those relationships can just suck the life out of you.
Yeah, and really like the analogy of putting your own, air mask on first. I mean, it is so true. Like if you are always giving and not having those boundaries, you're not going to have anything left to give. And that's what I finally realized is I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better, everything. I'm a better lawyer if I take care of myself and have boundaries to make sure that, especially my mental health, but also physical, like I'm getting enough sleep, I'm taking care of myself.
Well, that comes to what there was a term I learned it like so many years ago. And while we were preparing for this, I remembered. So it's letting go of FOMO and replacing it with JOMO, which it's the joy of missing out. It's okay if you don't get to go to every single party that someone invites you to. It's okay if you don't get to go to, like I bought tickets to this dating event last night and I was going to go solo. And then I just decided, and it's okay. I lost the money for it, but whatever. I didn't feel up for it. And there's another event going on too. And I'm like, where I need to be right now is just home and just hanging with Gabby or whatever it is, just being by myself and recharging. But it's okay to miss out.
I can't remember where this originated, but I'm sure you've heard it, where it's like with everything in your life, is it a hell yes? And if it's not like a hell yes, then it's a no. That like everything you do should be something that you feel enthusiastic about. And I've kind of been applying that, where it's like, if I don't really want to do something,
God, I would never go anywhere then.
well, that might be why I've become such a homebody, because a lot of it I'm like, but it's okay, right? Like, I don't know, if I am going to invest my money, time, energy, it needs to be something I really want to be doing.
Yeah, and that leads into overscheduling.
Yeah.
You have to know when enough is enough. I put your boundaries all the time there. I'm like, Jeanette, can we record more episodes? So sorry.
So do you have any more? So I also have a list of like some higher standards or things that I'm now insisting on now that I'm in my 40s.
I think so. Yeah, I want to hear those too. But like for me, a lot of things that we've talked about before is the idea of that you have to like age gracefully, you know? And I am all about embracing what makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, if people are there's so much public shaming out there for women, no matter what they do, they gain weight, they lose weight, they get the face done or not, and they're going to criticize no matter what. So just do what makes you happy.
The criticism of women just blows my mind. It really is like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you get the facelift, and I'm kind of looking at celebrities, but it's just the comments and talk that we see of the normal people talking about the celebrities, you know, shows a lot about our society. And it's like, so someone gets the facelift and they're criticized because they got the facelift, but then they don't. And it's like all these nasty comments about how old someone looks. And so it really is, and this is especially like criticism of men, but women are bad about it too, right? And same with weight. It's like, you know, Lizzo's big and she's criticized because she's big. Then she loses weight and then, oh no, you're not body positivity. You can't win. So really it's like, do what is you decide is best for yourself and screw everyone else.
Yeah. I think a lot too is like, I have zero care what I'm doing now on social media, whereas before I was so like careful about recording things. Like I showed Gabby how I recorded that TikTok the other day with Nick, no makeup on, and she was like, "Whoa, mommy, whoa!" I was like, "Why? What's wrong?" And she's just like, "No, I mean the difference." And I'm like, "Yeah, but this is me. This is, and who cares?" But you know what? Like 5 years ago, I definitely would have been like, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
Now, I'm like whatever.
Yeah, I kind of love like Pamela Anderson and how she's like, I'm doing what makes me happy now, because she lived most of her life like for the male gaze and for making other people like the way she looks. And now she's like, I'm enjoying my life and I don't need all this makeup. And she recently cut her hair short and looks real cute. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same thing about leaving the house. You know, if I you know what, I'm also like not giving two fucks about, I'm gonna say it, is like going braless now.
Yeah. I wish I could.
I've left the house. I know, but like, I know when I get a little bit more lift, but like, I'm like, no one can even really tell now. And I'm just going to run to the store, like, whatever. I would have never done that before.
Really?
Never. Nope. Never. No. Well, I couldn't have before either. My boobs, but no, I just don't care.
Yeah. Completely understand that.
What are some of your other ones?
So we've covered everything I'm letting go of, but I have like some things that I am doing now that I'm 40. And one is splurging on myself because I worked hard. And, you know, and this is something that kind of popped into my head was like when we're getting concert tickets, I'm always getting like decent seats now. Not necessarily first row, but you know, back in the day, it would be like nosebleed. Like, what can we get for $100? You know, like let's get the lawn seats. And now it's like, no, like I am middle of my life. I don't have the rest of my 80 years ahead of me. I need to enjoy being, we're still young, we're healthy, and we need to enjoy it. So yeah, get the good seats. And
I am all for that.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, even when we were booking that trip to go to Vegas that we're talking about, and Amanda mentioned Spirit Airlines, and I was like, no, I'd rather pay the extra $200 or whatever, because it's miserable, but there's just certain things that it's not worth it to me. And I agree. Concert tickets is kind of one of those things. It's maybe also that I've been to. I didn't spend my whole life living and experiencing those things. I really I kind of went My first concert was New Kids on the Block.
Me too.
Yeah. And it was like, well, it was New Kids and it was also Tiffany and Boyz II Men all in one in New York. And I was like 10. And the next time I went to a concert, sadly, it was like when I got divorced. I started going to concerts.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. So I was like 36 or something. So then I started going, and it was most of it was like a lot of dates, and they were getting me all like really close seats and nice seats. And I'm like, ooh, I've like missed out my whole life. But you know what? Now when I'm buying for myself too, I want to experience it in a nicer way. It's just,
I do think it's crazy what people charge now for concert tickets. Like,
it's insane.
With like all the fees and stuff, you have to spend $400 to get a good.
Yeah, there's just some things that
but
I don't care enough to go do. Like, I'm not a Swiftie. I like some of her stuff, but I would personally, but I guess if I liked her, I would throw down the money.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's ridiculous what people charge, but I'm still going to pay it because I want that experience.
Yeah, I feel the same too with dining out in restaurants. Like if we're going to go out to eat, and if it's not going to be better than what I can do at home, not worth it. So I want to spend more money on that for sure.
Yeah, for my 40th birthday, so we went to Paris and Bordeaux, and that was my big splurge trip. I mean, I had done Peru, but we didn't do Peru in a splurging way, nor is it the type of place I necessarily would want to splurge, right? But for my 40th, we went to Paris and Bordeaux, and it was like, I am going to splurge. I am 40 now. I, have worked hard, and this is going to be a splurge trip. And the two big splurges were, one was we did a lunch because dinner was crazy expensive, but at a 3-star Michelin restaurant, which I had never been to a 3-star Michelin restaurant. It was over the top. It was like it took like 3-4 hours. It was just absolutely mind-blowing. And Jeff, who I kind of I didn't drag him to it, but it was for me. It wasn't something that...
Sorry, I thought you said you drugged him. Like
no,
gave him
I did not drug Jeff. He went. I wouldn't even say he was like reluctant, but it was for me. It's not like this was something on his bucket list, right? But when we did it, like I think our first course came, and he was like, "It's like I've never eaten food before." Just like the experience was amazing. And then, so that was like such a big splurge. And then we drank too much wine and wandered into an art gallery. And we do, like, one of our things is on our big trips, we like to buy a piece of art. And it's not always expensive art. But this one, we'd had too much to drink and wandered into this art gallery. And
I remember this story.
We just ended, there's another story that I probably won't
tell. Did you buy some jewelry or something?
That was a different time. This time we had just had too much wine, and we ended up like splurging on this painting. But I mean, it's in our foyer now. Like, we see it every time we enter the house, and it's this amazing experience. The
memories.
It's amazing memory of this experience of we were in Paris and had too much wine, and stumbled into the art gallery and bought this painting. So yeah, like splurge on the experiences.
I feel that way too about clothes. Like, we've talked about this before, right? Like, just certain pieces of clothes. I spent I was never the one to buy, like you and Amanda, you get more handbags than I do, definitely. Yeah. But there was some guilt that I've kind of always had to myself, like, I can't do this. But now I'm just like, you know what, whatever. If it means that I can afford it, but I just never put the money towards it. Same thing with furniture too.
Yeah. And the way I feel about it is, like, I have worked very, very hard to earn good money, right? And I'm like, in order for me to continue working hard, like, it feels good, right? It's like, it really is a reward. Like, I got a BMW, and it's a used BMW. I always buy used, but it's the nicest car I've ever had. But it makes me feel good, and that feeling I get makes me want to keep working, as opposed to just saying fuck it and why am I working so hard, right? Like, we work to be able to get those experiences and the things we enjoy.
Yeah, I think I agree with you with the car too. Like, even the one I got like a couple of years ago, it's 2002 Toyota Corolla Cross, and my mind was like, okay, I'll get this for Gabby. And it's paid off now, and she's ready to have it next year when she drives. But immediately I was like, oh, what should I get? And I was thinking like, it should be something super affordable and economical and whatever. And she's like, Mommy, I want you to get a nice car. What are you going to get?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Treat yourself.
So now I'm going to start planning for that. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. So another one is investing in myself. I think especially as women, when we're younger, we give. It's always about like everyone else ahead of us, the kids, the spouse, everything. And finally getting to the point where it's like, what do I need? And, I invest we borrowed money to start my business and like really do this right. And I'm like, you know what? I'm worth it. And the vision I have and the type of person I want to help is worth it. And then paying for a business coach. And I see that a lot in like a lot of these like Facebook groups I'm in of lawyers where people don't want to invest in coaching. And it's not cheap, especially when you're starting out and you're living off of loans and stuff. But the value of it is absolutely worth it. So it's like invest in yourself for those things that are going to help you long term.
The courses, I agree. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I completely forgot. Yeah, when I started working with Greta a couple of years ago, I was like, she completely transformed me. And I decided that I work towards this to manifest that. I'm going to be at a place where I can financially afford to have her a part of my life. And it doesn't matter. Like people would say like, oh, how much does it cost? It doesn't matter. It's no different that if somebody wanted a personal trainer or a gym membership or whatever. This is just something that I've budgeted into my life. I do the same thing with my chiropractor visits and massages. I buy multi-packs of massages and people are like, oh, that must be nice. I'm like, I don't really care what you think because my back is sitting here working all day long on the computer, and this is what I need for maintenance and self-care. It's more just to keep myself in alignment so that I don't completely fall apart.
And it's the same thing with the GLP-1s. Like, the pricing just always is changing and whatever. But I'm like, you know what? Now that I've seen how effective they are and how it is essential for my health, I will make sure that I always have this medication because it is an investment in my health.
I'm kind of feeling like that about these NADs. I don't know. I know I started taking it. I started feeling really good. How are you feeling so far?
I am, and I posted a TikTok about it today, actually. So I've been waking up feeling good, which for me is extremely unusual, where like I'm able to wake up and not hit snooze 5 times and I don't feel groggy. I still feel the fatigue later in the day, but I'm hoping, I've only been on it a week. So I'm hoping that it kind of catches up. But I mean, it's nice just waking up in the morning and feeling good and not wanting to crawl back in bed and sleep 2 more hours.
And I think that's a perfect example is that when you're in midlife, you don't have to feel as though this is like some crisis we're going through, that it sucks. Like there's medicines, there's options out there, things you can do and treatments. You just got to make sure that you're putting yourself first.
Yeah.
Super a priority.
Absolutely. And then my last one is that I won't settle for a career that doesn't match the lifestyle I want.
I love that.
That's a big one. It's like, and that's really like my entire, I'm building my business for both, my why is because of the type of divorce I think is healthiest for people. But the way I'm building a virtual firm and the way it is structured internally is 100% to build my career around the life that I want. And what I want is to be able to, I want to work from home. I don't want a commute. And when the kids are in college, which we have 4 more years until our youngest is in college, I want to be able to still have the same income, but work from anywhere. So I want to be able to go to Costa Rica or Portugal or whatever, whether it's for a week or potentially a month. Like I want to be able to like rent an Airbnb for a month and, that be my lifestyle. So in order to do that, I had to build the job myself because no law firm is going to hire me if I'm like, hey, I have to be 100% virtual. That they would laugh at me.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So because that's my goal, I have to build the job that will get me to where I want to be.
I completely agree. And something that Greta had mentioned to me recently, and I'm like, yes, I totally resonate with this. It's like, build a lifestyle that you love so much that you never need to take a vacation from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that's how I feel now. Like, so I don't care in my 40s if people are saying you're working how many hours, you're doing what, where, whatever. But I'm like, I love it. And I'm not going to, there's no apologizing for it. And I don't feel like I need a break. So it's not like, oh, it's Friday. Oh my God. Thank God it's Friday. Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it all looks the same to me because I love what I do and I'm going after it every day. And I think that's the big thing for women. They don't have to feel like they're not too late. Still time to go after and do what the things you like. It's possible.
And that's one of the other reasons is like, I haven't saved as much for retirement as I should have. Like, if a financial advisor is like, oh my gosh, you're so behind. I'm like, okay, well, I just have to figure it out. And a big part of figuring it out is like building my business and making it so it runs without me having to work, 50, 60 hours a week.
Right.
And so, like I said, like we could go to Portugal for a month and I'm fine working, 20 hours in a week if, then I log out and I'm, walking around Portugal or wherever.
Yeah.
And, I'm experiencing what I want still.
Exactly. Yeah. On your terms. So
exactly.
I think in closing out here, like, let's give all of our listeners our midlife, like a midlife permission slip. So think about like, this is your permission slip to let go even just one thing that's no longer serving you, that you're feeling like. Is it feeling guilty that you have to take a nap or that you want to take a nap during the day? Or is it that you feel guilty because you have a little break in your mind because the kids are going to go back to school soon and you're like, oh, but figure out what it is and embrace it. Go for it.
Yeah. And let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, because midlife shouldn't just be about shrinking. It's we're here to grow and evolve, and there's certain things that we just don't care about anymore.
Yeah,
but I still feel like we care about a lot of things in other areas. It's just
absolutely
different. It's different. Yeah. So make sure to keep listening and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media at A Holistic Dose on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more fun. Visit our website at aholisticdose.com. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with more unfiltered friend talk right here on A Holistic Dose.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.